Folks, we all know we need a proven second scorer, somebody that can take the pressure off of Steph Curry, our bad man now with a gold medal. Well, Bleacher Report cooked up a trade, a 3-team trade. You saw the thumbnail, and that's why you hear it's a great trade for the Warriors. It's an amazing trade. We give up no draft picks, and we open up a second roster spot to be able to bring in Quinten Post. And you get Khris Middleton? Yes. I'm going to break down why this is a great trade for the Trailblazers, Bucks, and Warriors. 3-team trade. In addition, we have some news around the team, the schedule, the official day when Klay Thompson is back in San Francisco for the first time. It's also a NBA in-season tournament game, NBA Cup it's called. And then lastly, a 5-year streak is broken. Excuse the 11 right there. What's that streak? We're going to tell you all of this on this episode of Warriors Digest. And I know you're here for the trade. Let's get into it. You don't want to miss it. A recent trade proposal sees Golden State flip Wiggins and Moody in a 3-team deal for Khris Middleton. This is an amazing trade for the Warriors. First off, in terms of the roster construction, take away how they play. I mean, it's a big part, but roster construction, this is really big. Wiggins has 3 years left on this deal. Moody has 1. So if we're not going to re-sign Moody, then we don't need him. And then you get a player back who you're going to want to have for this season and future seasons. Wiggins, okay. If he plays all-star level, I'd love to have him. But Middleton is a proven scorer who can help Steph. You take out Wiggins, you can have Kuminga there. You could have Anderson there. So not the end of the world, but this helps us in roster construction because we have one standard roster spot left. We're only $500,000 above the first salary cap space. So right now, we can't sign Quinten Post, our 7-footer we drafted in the second round. We don't have enough money to sign him. Second round pick has to earn over $500,000. We can't sign him to a roster spot. So we either have to get rid of a roster person, probably Santos, maybe Waters, even though we just traded for him. I don't think so. Or he becomes a two-way player. Most likely you get rid of Pat Spencer because they just signed Beekman and Plowden this offseason. But if you trade away Moody and Wiggins and you get Middleton back, that means you'll have a second roster spot open. And I'll show you how much the money works. We'll have some money left over to get Quinten Post on this team. So there's a lot to unpack there. But this works well for the Warriors roster. We get better shooting. We get more versatile players. If we're not going to re-sign Moody, cool. Then let's get Middleton, who's a proven scorer. So the overall trade, presented by Bleacher Reports' Greg Swartz, Wiggins and Moody to Portland, Jeremy Grant to the Bucks, Khris Middleton to the Bay. In Portland, they do this trade because they're more in rebuilding than winning now. Jeremy Grant has a lot of money left on his contract. They have DeAndre Ayton. They probably trade him away too. Go full rebuild versus they have some young players. They drafted Scoot Henderson last year. High draft pick, top 3. So keep going younger. If you think Moody is going to be the guy moving forward and you get Wiggins, that doesn't really fit the build. Maybe they can trade him for another asset down the line, kind of like how Chris Paul has been traded around a bit. Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday went from the Bucks over to Portland. Was it Portland? And then he made his way over to Boston. I don't think it was Portland, but you get what I'm saying? Where, okay, you know what? We don't need Wiggins. We're going to trade him away and get more young pieces, assets, something like that. So it's a win-win there. Also, Portland traded for us to get our 52nd pick back so we could sign Quinten Post. We could draft Quinten Post. We got GP2 from Portland for 5 second-round picks. So they have been known to trade with us in a friendly NorCal, Oregon type of hey, you help me, I help you. Milwaukee, they get Jeremy Grant, a big man who can help out next to Giannis, can help out Damian Lillard, a new big 3. Maybe it's a better fit for Milwaukee. Say they don't think Middleton's the guy in this new offense, Doc Rivers head coach, then they can get Jeremy Grant, who can play inside, go outside a bit, and be a fit, help space the floor a bit better. And they're trying something different. For the Warriors, Middleton's shooting, passing, and overall versatility makes him a strong fit in Golden State, and we would be able to get off of Wiggins' contract. But again, with the Warriors being cap tied at that first cap, we cannot go over. We're hard capped. We have to make the money work. So how does that money actually work? We'll get to that in a second. Now, again, let's just look at Middleton's stats. He's 33 years old, so he's a bit older than Wiggins. Wiggins is 4 years younger. He's 29. Middleton has 2 years left on this contract. So you can try him this year. If it doesn't work, potentially trade him at the end of next year. 1 year left, you get something back. Or you try a 2-year trial and you don't re-sign him. And then you know what? Steph is gone in 2 years. Middleton's gone in 2 years. Draymond would have 1 year left on his contract. Steve Kerr is gone in 2 years. Of course, Kerr could re-sign for longer. But you try 2 more years, win now. And then if it doesn't work, you still got Kuminga, TJD, Brandin, Post, Beekman. Hield will be on the final year of his deal. So you're really then bridging to the future at that point. He averaged 25 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists in the playoffs when Giannis wasn't there. So really showed that he can play by himself or with a second person. Shot 39% from 3. Fits in perfectly with this team. The Bucks, they can get more athletic with Jeremy Grant, a better defensive presence with him to help Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard. Grant, not as injury prone as Middleton, who's now in his 13th season. So that's a concern for the Warriors, but I think we get better overall. Now the question is, do the Trailblazers do this deal? Perhaps they want to get off the remaining 4 years of Grant's deal. Huge value on Moody's unrealized potential. But do they take Wiggins' contract? They lose a year on Grant, which means they could do something different in 3 years, not 4. Or you use Wiggins to try to then use him for another pawn in a different trade. Middleton's owed $65 million over the next 2 years. But again, we can make that work based off of the trade assets. Middleton, again, just look at his stats across the board. If you're not aware, he averages basically, besides his rookie year, at least 10 points. Kind of dropped a bit the past couple seasons. He was hurt. Again, he only played 33 games and 55 games the past 2 seasons, respectively. But before that, for 6 seasons, he averaged 65, 70 games, and he was at 20, 18, 20, 20. So if he can do that for the Warriors, play 50 to 60 games for us, maybe he's hurt here and there, he can give us assists. Look at that. He's averaging 4 assists a game, 5 rebounds a game. He can take the pressure off of Steph. He can come in and play with Steph, or if Steph's on the bench, Steph's out, he can score with the second team. So he's owed $31 million this year, $34 million next year. How do we make that work? Because again, we're hard capped. So Wiggins is owed $26 million, and Moody's owed $5 million. So that puts you at $31 million. So again, Wiggins, $26 million at the top, middle of your screen. Moody at $5 million. So then if you go back to, boom, $31 million. That works perfectly. We're bringing in the same amount of money that we have. So now the question is, we have 2 roster spots open. Can we get Quinten Post in with the money? Maybe, maybe not. I know I said earlier we should be able to sign him. Again, semantics here. I'm not a cap specialist, but by having the second spot, you would think that there's a way that we can work to get him signed. And then in 2025, again, the money needs to work. It doesn't have to in this case because we're looking at this year trade. It has to work. Jeremy Grant, he's owed $29 million, $32 million, $34 million, $36 million over for 4 years with the Bucks. He's only 29 years old or 30 years old. So basically getting someone younger, can play multiple positions for the Bucks, and they try something different. They had Middleton, they had Giannis, they won a championship. Thank you so much. But let's try to revitalize this team a bit behind Doc Rivers. So I think this is a great trade across the board for Warriors, Portland, Bucks. Comment your thoughts. Let me know. Would you take this trade? Do you not like this trade? And again, Warriors give up no draft picks. So I love it. I love it. I love it. Try to win now. If we look at this team, who's going to be your starters? Sorry, y'all. Your starters then are Steph, Brandin, Middleton, or see, this is tough. You probably Brandin becomes your sixth man. So Steph, Kuminga, Middleton, Draymond, Trayce Jackson-Davis. Now you got a pretty tall team. Not like no 7-footer, but the cross average is tall. Or maybe you want Middleton, even at the high wages, to be your sixth man off the bench, help with scoring. Steph, Brandin, Kuminga, Trayce Jackson-Davis, Green. Or you could do the depth lineup: Curry, Podziemski, Kuminga, and then you put in Middleton in Green. And now you got a very athletic, everyone can shoot besides Green, but switching will be a nightmare for the team. So comment your thoughts. Let me know what you think. And then we can get to the second part of the video. Shams has reported that franchise legend Klay Thompson will return to Chase Center November 12th to face his former team. Expect there to be a lot of tears, a lot of emotion in that game. Before the game, middle of the game, whenever they do that welcome back Klay video, it will hit. Here he is in the Mavs jersey. Don't like it. November 12th, TNT, a part of the NBA Cup. He will be back in Golden State, back in San Francisco. And for the first time in 5 years, and just for the second time since we won a championship in 2015, the Warriors won a championship in 2015, the Warriors will not be playing on opening night. And it makes sense. They didn't make the playoffs this year. They were a play-in team. Then they get through. You show the teams who are the most competitive, and we're not there right now. 2019, when we had a bunch of injuries, made sense why. No KD anymore. Klay is hurt. We're not going to be there. So we're not there on opening day. Who will be our Knicks Celtics ring night? Knicks title contenders this year. All the moves they made really up like that last year. Celtics were there year over year and got over the hump. And now New York has to be in Boston to see a ring ceremony. Woohoo! And then West Coast, T-Wolves made it to the NBA Western Conference Finals, lost to the Mavericks, playing the Lakers, who are at home. LeBron James will be probably celebrated for the gold medal, so will AD. And we'll be celebrating the Warriors when they get their first game. We'll let you know. But let me know, again, your thoughts on the trade proposal. Do you like seeing Moody, bye-bye, Wiggins, bye-bye, in a Portland jersey? Do you like seeing Middleton coming over to the Warriors and being a second scorer? I think you're going to like this. So comment your thoughts. Let me know. And subscribe to Warriors Digest for all your news, breaking news, free agency, trades, regular season, summer league, everything in between. Bye, y'all.